In front of me, I have some of the absolute best breads you can buy at the grocery store and some of the worst. And in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly which breads you should be buying for you and your family based upon ingredient quality and taste, and I'll share the price of each loaf. We're gonna break them down into 3 categories: Bobby approved, almost Bobby approved, and not Bobby approved. And make sure to watch the whole video because some of the most popular brands are not gonna make the Bobby approved list. Let's go. We'll start with Dave's Killer Bread, arguably one of the most popular breads in the grocery store. This has a really cool story behind it. Dave was a ex-con who served 15 years in prison for burglary and drugs, came out a reformed man, started a bread company, and then sold it for hundreds of millions of dollars. That's like an American story come true. What do we love about Dave's Killer Bread? Well, I love the fact that it's organic because wheat can be sprayed with Roundup, and the active ingredient in Roundup is glyphosate if it's not organic. So organic is a must for me when it comes to bread. 21 whole grains and seeds is nice. 6 grams of protein and 4 grams of fiber. Really, really good. Let's take a look at the slice to analyze it. These are some big slices. Look at that. That's huge. You can see some of the oats and everything on the outside there. But let's review the details of the ingredients on back because that's the most important thing for all these breads. There's a lot to like here. It's organic whole wheat. There's nuts and grains and seeds here like flax, sunflower, quinoa, pumpkin seeds, rye, organic cornmeal. I love all that stuff. But if we look closely, the cane sugar is pretty high up in the ingredient list. And 1 slice of bread has 4 grams of added cane sugar. How much is grams? Because sometimes that's hard to see. Well, I measured it back here in my Walter White laboratory. That right there, that's 4 grams of cane sugar. In this slice of bread, you make a sandwich for yourself or your kids, you'll have 8 grams of sugar, which is why when I taste the Dave's bread, it's very, very sweet. And keep in mind, the average American consumes 19 to 20 added teaspoons of sugar per day. When you're getting a teaspoon of sugar from your bread, that's just too much. I paid $5.98 for this loaf at Walmart, but stay tuned soon because there is another version of Dave's Killer that is perfectly Bobby approved. But this one, unfortunately, is gonna go in the not Bobby approved list because that is just way too much sugar in 1 slice of bread. This loaf of bread right here is one of the more popular keto breads around. It's Arnold Keto. What do folks like about it? Well, if you look at the front of the bag here, it's only 1 net gram of carb per slice and only 40 calories. You can find it at a lot of places. I got it at Walmart for $5.98. I've seen it at Costco and Sam's Club here. And let's take a look at the slice here. Ooh, it kind of reminds me of Wonder Bread. It's very, very soft and pillowy. We'll taste it in a second. But the way they make this bread low carb is the way a lot of companies do it. It's with, see the ingredient, modified wheat starch, meaning it's resistant to digesting in your intestines, so it won't spike your glucose. I'm not a big fan of that, but as we read on, anytime you see a seed oil like soybean oil in your bread, put it back. Seed oils, as we all know, are highly processed inflammatory oils. They have no business being in bread. If you see it, it's a sign of a cheap, highly processed bread, along with ingredients like monoglycerides, soy lecithin, guar gum, xanthan gum, maltodextrins. Preservatives, yes, but monoglycerides are also a dough conditioner. It makes the bread kind of flaky. It allows them to bake a lot of loaves really quickly. It's a sign of ultra processed industrial bread. How does this taste here? 1 second. It tastes like a slightly drier version of Wonder Bread here, but I see why people like it because it's not cardboardy or anything like that. But this is not how you want to do keto. Those ingredients are not good for you. Luckily for us, Later on, I'm gonna show you a really good keto bread, but this is gonna join the Dave's Killer bread in the not Bobby approved list because you don't want those ingredients in your body. If you're an Aldi shopper, you're in luck because they have one of the best Bobby approved loaves of bread on the market. This is Aldi Knock Your Sprouts Off Sprouted Grain Bread. I got it for the shockingly low price of $3.99. High five to Aldi. And what do we like? Well, look at the front here. Sprouted grain bread is huge. Organic, huge. Honey sweetened without cane sugar, huge, and 13 grams of whole grains per serving. Me likey a lot. Let's take a look at the slice. Ooh, I'm liking the feeling of the loaf. Even though it's sprouted and hearty, it has a nice soft feel to it. This one I will chew and swallow. I will not spit this one out. I can taste the grains in there. I really, really like this. And as soon as you read the ingredients, you're gonna like it also. First ingredient, organic sprouted wheat berries, sprouted millet, sprouted rye, sprouted oats, sprouted corn. Why do we care about sprouted grains? My friends, when you talk about nutrition, sprouted is where it's at. All those grains I just listed are usually soaked in water for about 24 hours and they sprout. And the benefit of that is they're easier on your tummy to digest, but when you sprout a grain, it unlocks more nutrition for you and me. So sprouted grain, incredibly nutrient dense. The 1 gram of sugar in here is coming from organic honey, and there's a touch of molasses at the bottom. And because this is made of real grains and seeds, we're getting 3 grams of fiber in here. You'll notice the good hearty breads will have more fiber than the more processed breads, and that's what you want because fiber keeps us regular and fiber fills us up and satiates our hunger. Absolutely phenomenal. This, in fact, made the list of the top 23 things you should buy at Aldi for 2025. It's my ultimate guide for Aldi shoppers. It launched about 4 weeks ago and people are loving it. I'll link to it here. Check it out. But this bread, the Aldi Knock Your Sprouts Off, whether it's the original or the low sodium, goes in the Bobby approved pile. Since we're talking about the best breads at the grocery store today, I gotta give a shout out to the best probiotic on the market, Seed, because of the sponsor of this video today and a longtime supporter of the channel. The reason why I say it's the best probiotic on the market is because not only does it work, but it makes it to your actual colon to deliver the 24 strains of custom bacteria. Most probiotics won't actually make it there. The reason this one makes it there is because of what I'm doing right now. The only thing that comes out in your actual stomach is the outer capsule. And like some of the breads, it's actually made of fiber-rich pomegranates, which feed your gut bacteria. And then the inner capsule actually makes it to your colon to deliver the bacteria that work for poop, regularity, skin health, immune health, and more. If you're in the market for the best probiotic or looking to change to a new one, Seed is where it's at. My link down below gets you 25% off your first month's supply and free shipping. I take it every day, so does Desi. Rose takes the kids one. This is great. Check out Seed, you'll love it. Marketing plays a big role in selling breads to us because when I saw this at the store, I thought it was healthy. Whole grain oat nut from Arnold. It sounds like it's a healthy bread. And if you look at the front, there's 28 grams of whole grains, 8 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. There's a lot to like from the front. Let's take a look at a slice. Woo! Big boy, big slice here. Very soft though, very soft. That's always a bad sign. I can feel the nuts in here though. I felt a little bite. Kind of dry, not very exciting. This one I'm gonna spit out, give me a second. Why did I decide to spit that one out? Let's read the ingredients. This is why I spit it out. So, forget about the fact that the whole wheat flour isn't organic, even though earlier I said I think it's really important to be organic because of Roundup and glyphosate and our friends over at Monsanto. It's whole grain flour, yes, followed by enriched wheat flour. If you ever see enriched flour, run, Forrest, run. Why? Because see all of these vitamins they put after that, like iron and thiamine and niacin. They took a perfectly good whole grain, like the first ingredient, stripped it down to a simple starch carbohydrate, and then reinforced it with synthetic cruddy vitamins, which is horrible. Why would they do that? Because the stripped down enriched flour is much easier to make into industrial bread. We never want enriched. And then look at this. What did we say earlier? We don't want seed oils. There's soybean oil. There's sugar in here. One slice has 3 grams of added cane sugar. And then there's also natural flavoring in bread. Longtime viewers of the channel will know that natural flavors are the biggest lie in the grocery store. There's really nothing natural about them. I picked up this loaf at Walmart for $3.98. Yes, it's cheap, but the ingredients are very cheap too. I think we all know where this one is going. It's going in the not Bobby approved pile. Earlier in the video, I told you there was a version of Dave's that is Bobby approved. Well, which one is it here on the cutting board? If you break out your free Bobby approved app and scan to this one here, Bobby approved. It's the Power Seed bread. And look at the front here. Almost identical to the green bag earlier. The difference? Boom, sweetened with organic fruit juice. And if you look at the back of the bag here, the ingredient list is very, very similar, but one slice of bread only has 1 gram of sugar coming from organic fruit juice concentrate, whereas the green bag had 4 grams of cane sugar. Very different. Fruit juice, 1 gram, cane sugar, 4 grams. This is why it's Bobby approved. Let's take a look at the slice. What's nice, it has like the sesame seeds and poppy seeds out there. It's clearly not as sweet as the green bag one. I like this one a lot. And if you look at the thin sliced here, you're gonna notice something very interesting if you scan it with my app also. It's the first time in the video we see the yellow almost Bobby approved, which is new to the app. What do we like about this? Once again, it's organic, good seed bread with protein and fiber. The ingredients are whole grains, nuts, and seeds, but it has the cane sugar here again. But one slice only has 2 grams of cane sugar compared to the 4 grams earlier. This is why I'm gonna put the red bag in Bobby approved and the good seed bread in the almost Bobby approved. We have to think about the fact that the cane sugar is not ideal in this, right? But compared to the not Bobby approved breads, everything else is far superior. And that's why I created the new category of almost Bobby approved, because the gap between green Bobby approved and red not approved was just a little too wide. So when you download my free app and scan away, it'll tell you good, bad, or almost Bobby approved. It'll highlight bad ingredients for you, tell you why they're bad, and then give you a better recommendation. It's like having me go shopping with you. It's been rocking on the app stores with hundreds of thousands barcode scans a day, and it's free. Download it down below on the Apple App Store and the Google Play. The bread we all grew up with, Wonder Bread. There was a Wonder Bread factory in the suburbs of Chicagoland, and my parents used to take my brother and I there to get the bread from the outlet, and you can smell that amazing aroma from miles away. So the call-outs on the front are pretty lacking here. Calcium fortified enriched bread. Yikes. And their claim to fame is at least 4x the calcium of regular wheat bread. That's only because they're enriching it here. If we look at the slices, which now that I remember my childhood and going there, we would buy an extra loaf and feed the ducks in the nearby pond, and they would love it. I think we gave the ducks type 2 diabetes, but it was a fond memory here. So, oh my gosh. It's falling apart just when I pick it up here. It is so light and pillowy. It's like crack because it is so starchy and sweet. I'm not swallowing this one. Oh my gosh, it balls up into like a piece of dough in your mouth. Not good, that's disgusting. And there's a reason why here. This ingredient list is horrific. Yes, it's enriched wheat flour with the cruddy vitamins like thiamine and iron. But after that, the literal third ingredient is sugar. 2 slices have 5 grams of sugar, so 2.5 grams of sugar per. And because it's basically enriched wheat flour, your body converts that to sugar. So it's sugar on sugar, which spikes your blood sugar and glucose like crazy. And then you have these horrific ingredients here that we said to stay away from earlier. Soybean oil. They specifically list the dough conditioners here. Dough conditioners are a sign of cheap bread. They make it very fast to make. They have datum, which is a dough conditioner. Horrible. This is churn and burn bread to make it really cheap, which is why I got it for under $3 a loaf at Walmart. And bread like this is so bad that you can literally crumple it up into a tiny ball like that. Bread should not do that, okay? That's bad. This is for the ducks now, and this is certainly going in our pile of not Bobby approved. If you eat gluten, I'm calling this loaf the best Bobby approved bread on the market, and it's relatively new. It's from One Mighty Mill. What do we like about it? Well, let's look at the front first. It's organic bread, which is great. Stone milled grains. We'll come back to that in a second. It's very unique. It's got 13 whole grains, only 1 gram of sugar there, which comes from honey, and it's 5 grams of protein. So far, so good. If we take a look at the slice, it's nice. It looks like a basic kind of like whole wheat bread, but the flavor is amazing. You can taste the fresh quality. It has a nice sweetness to it, but it has a nice heartiness at the same time. Here's where things get really interesting, and I'm not spitting this one out. First ingredient, organic stone milled whole wheat flour. Stone milling is the way your grandma and grandpa used to do it, but nobody does it anymore. These guys buy organic grains from farmers, take it to stone mills they own, crush it into flour, and bake it within 10 days for a fresh loaf of bread. Even these breads that are Bobby approved use regular flour. That's nothing special. This is stone milled. We continue on. Extra virgin olive oil, sweetened with 1 gram of organic honey, and that's it. No dough conditioners, no BS. I got it on their website for $6.99 because they're not in the local area here, but I know that some Costco's in LA area have it, Whole Foods in the Northeast have it, some Targets have it too. It's a phenomenal bread that no one else is doing it quite this quality. This one is Bobby approved, and I use it for my sandwiches a few times a week. On to another low carb bread out there. This one is Carbonaut low carb gluten-free bread here. What are the callouts on front? 1 gram of net carb per slice, 15 grams of fiber per slice. You might poop your pants after eating a sandwich. That is a lot of fiber here. Before we get to the ingredients, we have to check out the slice. Oh wow, this is super soft. It's almost like it's wet. Look at this. You can see my thumbprint in there. That's strange. Oh my God, it's melting in my mouth. Not in my hand. That is crazy. What is going on here? Wow, that's weird. I'm not gonna swallow this one. Well, it's turning into a starch ball. There's a reason why I didn't swallow it. Number one, I don't wanna poop my pants. But number two, if we look at the ingredients here, ooh, it's kind of weird. Starchy aftertaste here. So the first ingredient is resistant tapioca or potato starch. That's the trend for most keto breads. Spoiler alert, the next bread I'm gonna show you is keto bread done right. But whether it's resistant tapioca or resistant wheat starch, your body can't digest it. It doesn't spike your blood sugar. But I don't like high oleic sunflower oil in there. They put psyllium husk in there, I'm fine with pea protein, and then they have the dreaded natural flavoring at the end. But one slice has 15 grams of fiber, and the way we get to net carbs is subtract the 16 carbs from the 15 grams of fiber, 1 net carb. I'm a bit sensitive to high fiber foods. 15 grams times 2 when you make a sandwich. If I had a sandwich with 30 grams of fiber, I'd be doubled over in pain afterwards from all of the digestive issues. Too much for me, but maybe not too much for you, but I don't want you consuming sunflower oil, high oleic or not, Sunflower oil is a processed inflammatory seed oil. Natural flavors are the biggest lie in the grocery store. I picked this one up at Target for $6.89 because of those issues here. It's going in the ever-growing, not Bobby-approved pile. I just said I'll show you a good version of a keto bread. Here it is. Base Culture Bread. Shout out to a Florida-based company that's owned by a woman. Her name's Jordan. Actually, I met her before. She's on the west coast of Florida. This is the sourdough bread. It's keto, paleo, gluten-free with 5 grams of net carbs. Let's take a look at a slice. Hearty, right? Unlike the previous one, I can't make thumbprints in this here. And there's a nice ingredient you can see here and there that makes it really interesting. There's actual sauerkraut in the ingredient list here. And this is keto bread done right. Eggs, cashew butter, a touch of arrowroot starch, flaxseed meal, psyllium husk, coconut oil, touch of honey. All ingredients are non-GMO. One slice has 3 grams of fiber and 5 grams of net carbs. Do you see the difference? You don't see the resistant tapioca or wheat starch. You don't see the seed oils. You don't see the natural flavors. The only difference, unfortunately, is the price. I bought this for $9.99 in the frozen section of Whole Foods. It's expensive, yes, but it does go on sale from time to time at about $6.99, and you keep this in your freezer until you're ready to use it. So load up when it's on sale. They have another flavor that's cinnamon raisin with real cinnamon in there and real raisins. We make keto French toast out of it, and it's totally Bobby approved. They do have a new shelf stable version of this that I don't like. It's very starchy and cakey. The frozen one is fantastic. If you're keto and you don't mind spending a little more money, this one for sure lives in the Bobby approved pile. Sourdough bread, very, very popular, but there's a right way to do sourdough and a wrong way. And unfortunately, Pepperidge Farm is doing the wrong way. Shocker alert, right? So front of the package, sourdough, fresh from the oven. The only call out I see here is no high fructose corn syrup. Good for you. Let's check out a slice. No, I'm calling foul. This is not what sourdough bread should look or feel like. This is Wonder Bread, essentially, here. Oh my gosh. It's an abomination. No. Excuse me. What makes this so bad? So many things, my friends, here. It's made with enriched wheat flour, and then it has yeast to it. A true sourdough bread is naturally fermented from the yeasties and bacteria in the air. It doesn't have yeast added to it. It has 2 grams of added cane sugar. It has soybean and or canola oil. It has a boatload of preservatives and emulsifiers and dough conditioners. But look at the very bottom here. They have to do this now. Bioengineered food ingredients from the canola, corn, soy, and sugar. So beyond GMO, beyond not real sourdough. I got this thing at Walmart for under, what was it? $3.84 for a loaf. But this is not how you do sourdough. This is going on the old pile here of not Bobby approved, which is getting really tall. So what is the proper way to do sourdough bread? Well, look what it says on the bottom of this. Natural sourdough fermentation. That's how you make sourdough bread. This is San Francisco style Izzio sourdough bread with 3 ingredients, flour, water, and salt. And it feels a bit different than the Pepperidge Farm one. Let's bust it open. That's what sourdough should feel like, right? It's completely different feel. It has a traditional sourdough holes in there. It smells sour. And it tastes sour. It's pleasant, right? And if we look at the ingredients, like they said before, it is just a few ingredients. Wheat flour, water, salt. And the sourdough culture is wheat flour and water. It's done with the fermentation. So this is how you make sourdough, right? So if you busted out my app, this would be Bobby approved, right? Unfortunately, not, right? This is where the app really comes in handy. I like that it's real sourdough bread, but there's no mention of organic or glyphosate-free wheat. And I really feel passionately that wheat has to be one of those two things because of Roundup and glyphosate levels. I tried looking online, but I couldn't find an organic version. I went to Sprouts and bought this one for $6.99. $5.99, sorry. I couldn't find an organic version there. So unfortunately, this is gonna go on the not Bobby approved aisle for the sole reason that it's not organic or certified glyphosate-free flour. This one feels very soft, almost like I can take a nap on it. It's a little pillow here. It's Artesano by Sara Lee. And remember, nobody does it like Sara Lee. We got always baked without artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, and no corn syrup. Bravo to you, Sara Lee. Let's see what this pillowy bread tastes like here. Just feels like the cheapest industrial bread. Look at it, once again. It's like I'm being printed at the precinct here. You can see my fingerprints in the bread here. It's so sweet, but it turns into a dough ball immediately. This is going to my stomach, clog it up for days, and I wouldn't go to the bathroom. One second. Okay, what makes it Artesano here? Is it the enriched wheat flour, the cruddy wheat reinforced with the synthetic vitamins? Is it the 2 grams of cane sugar here? Is it the GMO soybean oil? Is it the soy lecithin and stuff like that? No, this is a hard no for this. I bought this one at Walmart for $3.48, and I would put it on top of the pile, but the pile is getting really big, so I'm gonna create a new pile in front of that here, and things are skewing towards the not Bobby approved. It's the tale of 2 gluten-free breads made from the same company, but one is superior to the other. If we start with this one, it's the whole grain heritage style from Canyon Bakehouse. When I look for gluten-free breads, I like them to be made of whole grains, not just a bunch of simple starches and gums like corn and potato starch. We look at the slice here. Oh, wow. Look at that, very hearty. Feels nice here, has a good smell to it. Tears good. That's good. Wow, it's actually a very decent gluten-free bread. But when we look at the ingredients here, I do like the brown rice. I do like sunflower seeds, whole grain millet, and teff, but they have 2 grams of cane sugar per slice. More importantly, what kind of oil do you see there? Expeller pressed canola oil. Forget about the expeller pressed. Canola is canola. Sunflower, sunflower. Processed inflammatory seed oil. So this one goes into the not Bobby approved pile. But the good news is the 7-grain one. What do we like about it? Once again, it's made with whole grain, gluten-free grains. My tower's crumbling. Tear down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev. We look at the texture, very nice. Not gummy, not starchy. This one tastes better. I can taste little crunchy bits in there. I'll bet that is the whole grain millet, which is in here. They swap the canola oil with extra virgin olive oil. The sweetener is a combination of agave and cane. I wish it was all agave, which is a paleo sweetener. And one slice has 3 grams, which is a little high, but it's probably 2-ish grams coming from agave, 1 coming from cane. Because of that, but because of the oil and the complex carbs in here, this one is gonna go in the better for you, almost Bobby approved pile, while the other one joins the bad ones in the not Bobby approved pile. The OG of sprouted grain bread, Ezekiel. This is a heavy loaf compared to the other ones that are light as a feather. You could do dumbbell curls with this thing. Let's look at the front here. Ezekiel, as always, organic sprouted grain flourless bread. These guys were doing sprouted grains back when you and I was in Pampers. Let's take a look at a slice. Super hearty. Look at that. You can literally see the grains in there. It has a very distinct aroma to it. And it's different. It reminds me of the Seinfeld when Kramer eats the really old hot dog at the movie theater. He's like, interesting texture. This is not for everyone. It is a very healthy texture here. And there's a very good reason why. Look at the ingredients. It's nothing but organic wheat, not even wheat flour, actual whole grain wheat, sprouted barley, sprouted millet, sprouted spelt, and that's it. What did I say earlier about sprouted grains? They're unlock more nutrition and they're easier to digest for you and me. It's always in the freezer section. I got it at Whole Foods for $7.69. It's great, but it's not for everyone. Personally, I would save money and go to ALDI and get their sprouted grain bread. It's really, really good, more texture that's friendly to you and I, and way cheaper. But technically, the OG, of course, does live in the Bobby approved pile. Another sprouted grain bread. This one is Silver Hills here. The bonus of this, unlike the Ezekiel, is that it has a nice texture. But if we look at the front of the bag, it's the first time we see the call out. Look at the bottom there. It's glyphosate-free certified. So the bread is not organic, but it is glyphosate-free. So it checks one of those really important marks here. It has 4 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber per. Let's check out a slice. Nice, ooh, has a nice fluff to it, but you can feel the whole grains. And it has a very pleasant texture. I've actually used this bread to make grilled cheese in the past for Rosie, and it's quite nice. Look at the ingredients here. So it's part organic sprouted grains, but then to the bottom, the vital wheat gluten and the cultured wheat flour are not organic. But because it's certified glyphosate free, I'm okay with that. The only issue with the bread, and it's minor, my friends, is the sweetener is cane sugar here. And there's 2 grams of added sugar for 2 slices. So it only has 1 gram of added sugar per slice. I picked this one up at Whole Foods for $5.99. And I'm gonna put this one under the almost Bobby approved. It is knocking on the door, literally half a foot in. But how can I make this perfectly Bobby approved when I have the ALDI one sweetened with honey, or the stone milled one sweetened with honey? I can't. And I'd actually prefer, if you want sprouted bread, to once again go with the ALDI one. It's cheaper and it's slightly superior ingredients, but these guys are really, really close. So we're gonna put them in the almost Bobby approved pile. I was joking earlier that the Ezekiel you can do curls with. Forget it. If you're ready for the advanced course, this is the heaviest, smallest loaf of bread ever. It's Pacha organic, gluten-free, sprouted sourdough bread made of buckwheat. We gotta check this out because this thing is dense, my friends. Holy cow. It comes, look at this, in its own carton here. There we go. Oh my goodness. Look at this. That's the slice of bread here. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that smells healthy and fermented from the natural fermented buckwheat. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Is there something around here that kids would love it? I don't know what kids we're talking about here. So the ingredients are amazing. It's 2 ingredients. It's sprouted buckwheat and sea salt. It's naturally it's naturally fermented. It's very healthy. Let's put it that way here, okay? And it's easier to digest because it is sprouted. But mamma mia, can we just do an experiment here? This is so heavy. We're gonna do a slice to slice weigh-in for the big fight on Saturday night. The Pacha slice is 39 grams. A slice of the ALDI bread is 29 grams. So 10 grams more, yet half the size here. It's gonna be for a very specific customer here. I don't think I can eat it on a regular basis, but it is very healthy and it is going, it's gonna crush my other bread. It's going in the Bobby approved pile on the bottom so I don't crush my other breads there. Woo! They're trying to get us with the marketing call outs on the front of this one. This is Arnold organic thin sliced whole grain bread. We have organic. So we have a nice picture of a green globe with a windmill right there. We have the plant-based signal. We have certified recycled content. We have sustainably baked. They're trying to check every mark in the book to make us feel very good about buying it. But first we have to check out a slice. Super soft, very, very soft. It does have a ton of whole grains in there, I can see. It's good. A little on the sweet side, but I'm going to spit it out. Because there are some decent things going on in the ingredient list. I like organic whole wheat flour. I love a lot of the nuts and seeds here and the chia seeds and whatnot. But there's cane sugar and brown sugar. Each slice has half a teaspoon, which is 2 grams. There's soybean or canola oil, and there's natural flavorings in here. So this is a bit of what we call in the business greenwashing, right? They make you feel good about all the green, healthy, planet-friendly stuff here, but the ingredients are far good for you and me. In my opinion, I bought this at Walmart for $4.98, but it is going on the not Bobby approved pile. Another Pepperidge Farm bread, and that makes me think of another childhood memory. There was a Pepperidge Farm store right next to the Toys R Us growing up. It shows how old I am. There are no more Toys R Us, I don't think, and no more Pepperidge Farm stores, and you walked in there and it just smelled so darn good. Well, this is their whole grain thin sliced bread. It's got 15 grains, it's got protein, it's got fiber in here. Once again, looks good from the front. We'll examine the slice. All of the bad breads they all feel really soft and cheapo. This one is just so soft. Once again, my fingers sink into it. You know, it has that really starchy, sweet, gummy flavor that just turns into a dough ball in your mouth. If we look at the ingredients on back, at least they're using whole wheat flour. It's not a rich flour, but sugar is high up in the list. 4 grams of cane sugar in 2 slices, so 2 grams per. And then you have the dreaded soybean or canola oil, and you have a bunch of preservatives and your usual bad ingredients here. So this is, once again, not something you want to eat. I got it at Walmart for $3.78. But I would put it in the not Bobby approved pile. So what are we looking for when we're trying to buy bread? In general, we want to buy organic or glyphosate-free whole grain bread. We don't want to see any cane sugar, ideally. We don't want any seed oils or any preservatives, and unfortunately, most of them have that. You really have to look to buy the good ones or use the Bobby approved app and it will show you which breads to buy. Hey, if you want to see more videos like this, where I review popular items from the grocery store like plant-based milk, crackers, cookies, more, let me know. Leave a comment down below and I will see you soon. Make sure to subscribe not to miss any videos, and YouTube thinks you'll like this video playing right here. Peace.